Okay, I have hope. We're not very far in, but so far I have hope. Please don't screw this up. What's up, witches? Welcome back to the Tired Witches podcast. The end is finally here. We are here for the last Outlander Friday, at least for now. I do have plans to watch Blood of My Blood Season 2. Well, maybe. We'll see how this ends first, okay? But anyway, it is Outlander Friday, and I am here to watch and react and review the series finale. I'm not ready for this, you guys. Like, all day on threads and stuff, they've been sharing like these final days of filming from the cast, and I've just been a wreck. This series means so much to me. It literally is why I am here today. I was such a bookworm as a kid, and then in my 20s, I completely dropped reading. Didn't read at all. It was just something I did not do in my spare time. And then in 2019, I randomly started watching the show on Netflix, binged the entire thing in 3 days. It altered my brain chemistry. And then I decided I'm going to try the books. And I'm telling you guys, it ignited something in me. Like, this is my copy of Outlander. Look how, like, worn this is from just being carried around and read so much. That is how much this means to me. And so saying goodbye to this show, it's going to hit a lot harder, but I have to thank it for being here today, because like I said, without it, I would not have started reading again. And I always have to credit it to that. So anyway, we are here for the final episode. I don't know what we're getting into. If you were with me last week, you will know that I ranted quite a bit at the end, because it was revealed in like news articles and stuff that the series finale was going to be 80 minutes long. I didn't think that was long enough. Well, go and behold, I looked at Hulu last night when they updated the episode. Yeah, folks, this episode is 1 hour and 11 minutes.
Wait. Bitch, you better be joking.
I don't understand what is going on with the screen time this season. Now, I understand that the cast had to agree to come back for this final season and everything, but Kat herself has expressed in interviews and publicly online that she is frustrated with this season and the role that she was given. Apparently, she and Sophie had some really great scenes together. I think they actually had Bree's heart condition, and they decided, we're not going to show it. This has just been such a disaster and a clusterfuck of a final season. And after I just went on this whole little tangent about why this means so much to me, it's just, it's heartbreaking. It really, really is. And so here we are, about to begin the final season of this show that so many of us love so much. And I really, really hope they don't Game of Thrones us. I mean, they kind of did a few episodes ago, but I didn't want to say it's over until it's over. And Diana did co-write this one. But I don't know, that still doesn't give me a lot of hope. So we are just going to sit. We're going to watch. I don't know yet if this is kind of going to be like my episode 7 reaction. I kind of had to sit and process my thoughts with that one. So I kind of did a double reaction. Like, I reacted to it raw in live time, and then the very next morning I sat down to better articulate my thoughts. And if we are going to be in a place like that again while watching this episode, that's exactly what's going to happen again, because I really want to be able to express my thoughts and review how I felt about this final episode season as a whole, if you will. And if it just pisses me off so much, I might need to sleep on my feelings a little bit. But you know what? We haven't even watched it yet. So let's just sit, relax, and hope that they didn't ruin this entire thing. Here we go. They gave us the original. That was one of the best creative decisions they could have done. Making us sob right off the bat. Those were the forget-me-nots, you guys. Okay, the title card was the forget-me-nots planted at Craignadoon. And this has kind of been a theory for a lot of book readers themselves of how this is going to all end. And it is theorized that it would end with either Claire or Jamie himself planting those forget-me-nots. Oh my god. Okay, I have hope. We're not very far in, but so far I have hope. Please don't screw this up. If they kill this man, I swear to God. Ghost Jamie. This is in the books, and book people have been wanting this. Okay, so in the books, it is theorized that Brian Fraser is a Selkie, which is a water horse. There's just so much more lore and fantasy elements in the books, and that's been a huge disappointment for book readers that they didn't really put a lot of that in the show. So it's very interesting that they decided to drop all of this in the final episode. Davy can't travel. Do you really think that Bree and Roger would leave their child behind? Thank you. I wonder if, because everything is predestined, Claire going distracts him. That's probably what's going to happen. That guy has pants on, Claire. Come on. You're looking for a man in a kilt. You know what? This is classic, Claire. Put yourself in a situation you shouldn't be. We are not out of the woods yet. We are not out of the woods yet. I don't like this. I really don't like this. Run, girl, run! Oh my god. Do not kill this man, do not kill this man, do not kill this man. Oh my god, right in the heart. Claire. Work your magic, girl. Work your magic. Oh my god. So, so, what is this? What was that? What the hell? Oh my god. Okay, y'all. I think I need to sleep on this one. I really do. Immediate thoughts. I didn't hate the finale. Okay, I will say that. My immediate reaction is that I did not hate the finale. That last like 10 minutes or whatever was really cool. However, I don't know yet how I feel about the way that it ended, that final scene. I'm gonna go to sleep so I can articulate my thoughts better, and then we will just circle back around in the morning, because this is the final episode, this is the final season, and I really want to be able to give this the proper thought process that I can. So with that said, I'm gonna go nighty night and cry a little, and then we'll talk more in the morning. All right, I am rested. I have quite a headache, actually. You know when you go to bed after you've been crying and then you just wake up like with a really bad tension headache right there? Yeah, that's what I'm experiencing. But you know what? I have slept, I've processed, I've gathered my thoughts, and I can honestly say that I am happy with this finale. As much of a disaster as this entire season has been, I am happy with this series finale. But now I'm going to get into what I liked and what I disliked. So Diana co-wrote this one, and you can absolutely tell. This was such a love letter to season 1 and the pilot to me, and I strongly recommend, if you are here and you have not watched the episode yet, which I don't know why you would be, go watch the pilot beforehand, especially if you are someone that has really only watched each episode one time. I'm looking at people like my father that don't remember stuff between, so always texting, hey, what's happening here? I don't remember this. I think it's really a great idea to watch the pilot episode before you watch this. But yeah, just so many throwbacks to the pilot. And the pilot is an episode that I have watched so many times. I think a lot of us can agree that season 1 is perfection. It is magic. It is lightning in a bottle that you cannot replicate, and that's probably why no other season just comes even close to it. But I am so happy that this episode was basically a dedication to that. So from what I understand, this is all in book 9, but like the order of operations events were different. So book 9, the cliffhanger ends with William showing up on the ridge saying that he needs help finding Lord John. So that conflict has not been resolved in the books. However, in the books, this whole King's Mountain thing goes down, and Claire lies with Jamie for 3 days healing him. And from what I understand, basically this kind of interconnects their souls for life. It really changes them after the fact, but this does all happen in the book, and there are things that happen in the book afterwards that we have not seen yet. Now, as you can see from my reaction, I was very shocked at the way it was ended. It just like ended, and I'm like, what? Where's the rest? You guys, I think this ended in this way for a reason. This wrapped up in a way that leaves things open to return. And I know that Diana has said that she would be happy to return. The cast has said that they are happy to return when the final book comes out. A lot of people have like speculated a movie, kind of like Downton Abbey did. Something. The way this ended, it leaves it open for so much, because let's look at the random things that were finally dropped in this episode out of nowhere. Okay, Davy. Why would Jamie bring up the fact that, hey, if Davy can't travel, I want you all to leave? Davy not being able to travel is a plot point in the books. Mandy's powers. God, they really went into Mandy's powers here with how she can see colors with people and how she knows that Jamie is the color of water. Why was all of that randomly thrown in this final episode? Now, they could have thrown it in like, here, book readers, here is your fantasy lore, here is all of the magic elements that you've been missing. But I don't know. I really think with the way that it ended in a way to come back. Because now I gotta get into my gripes. What was the point of introducing the Faith Fanny plotline? Why were we told that Fanny could time travel 2 episodes ago and nothing came about it? I mean, I'm not complaining the series finale was not the Fanny show and that we didn't get some weird, like, intro to a spinoff, but the point is, why did we waste so much time on this storyline? Why did we take such a hard detour from the books for the sake of shock value? What was the point of resurrecting Faith? What was the point of all of this if it just ended here? So I really think that they did it this way for a reason so that people could come back. Because otherwise, I'm just like, what are we doing here? Because my gripes with the season as a whole, not good. Because there was so much time wasted on plot lines that didn't go anywhere. Faith Fanny aside, Amaranthus. I talked about this last week when we had our final of John and William, which I kind of speculated then. I'm like, oh, this feels like a goodbye. The fact that William did not even end up with Amaranthus, that is such wasted screen time to me. Why was Claire in the background this entire final season? This is her show. She's the star. And Kat actually expressed in interviews and online that she was not happy with what was going on this season and that she was sidelined. She actually mentioned that there was a scene several episodes ago that her and Sophie shot, and it like caused them both to break down into tears, and I think it was due to Brianna's health, and it was completely cut. And it was in favor of these weird side plot lines that didn't go anywhere. And that's what I'm scratching my head for, is why? Why was Amaranthus introduced if she was never going to be William's endgame? I mean, we got the one scene of him being reunited with his cousin, and then it was over. So I'm just like, what was the point of so much of William's plotline this season? I would have been completely fine if they just focused on him and John and trying to build his relationship with Jamie. The stuff with Brianna and him was great. If we could have just focused on that with William, that would have been fine. But we had too much and it took away from other characters. Bree and Roger were also in the background. They both had an amazing, incredible season 7. Their performances, their plot lines was absolutely outstanding. And so for them to be pushed in the background in this season in favor of characters like Amaranthus and Fanny, that's really frustrating, especially when you know, based on book plot lines and supposedly what was filmed, was that we did get more to Bree's storyline. In the books, she has traveled so many times that she actually develops a heart condition and she cannot travel anymore. The same thing happens to Buck. And this is a big part of her story. And the fact that they decided to do other things instead of that is such a head scratcher to me. I really don't understand it. So it's a lot of the way that the direction of this season went, the spotlight shining on certain characters rather than others. I mean, also, where was Ian this season? Ian had that episode where he got Swiftest of Lizards back, but then we never saw Swiftest of Lizards again. That's also what I don't understand, and don't even get me started on Fergus and Marcelly in that disrespect. I knew that funeral scene of Marcelly and Jamie. I'm like, oh my god, this is Marcelly's fucking goodbye, isn't it? And I'm sorry, in no actual world would Jamie and Claire send Marcelly and her children pregnant, alone, back states hundreds and hundreds of miles away by herself. I'm sorry. No, that's just not happening. So what was the point of all of these other plot lines when we had the core? We had Jamie and Claire, which makes the show, and then the branches of them. The Mackenzie family, and then Fergus and Marcelly and their stuff. I just really don't understand it. If you would have stuck to those, this could have been a really great season. But instead, we had to go for shock value because it's the final season. Hey, let's see if we can do something really fun and cool. Well, that didn't really work out that great. But now for things just in the finale that I really, really enjoyed. I did enjoy each individual goodbye to people. I do kind of wish there was more. I mean, the kids were really pushed in the background this season. I mean, what Fanny was not. Clearly, Fanny had more screen time practically than Claire. But, you know, Jemmy and Mandy, their whole bond and connection was brought up last season. And I really wanted them to build on that. And we got the mention of that in this episode, but they really didn't even give these kids lines this season. Like Mandy had the whole Wicked Witch thing in the first episode, but that was really it. So I don't understand that. I really, really don't. So the goodbyes were, you know, nice. They were okay. But really, to me, it was the end of this episode. I think we all kind of guessed that there was going to be this epic montage. A lot of us guessed how Ghost Jamie was going to go about. I'm happy and satisfied with what the show did with Ghost Jamie. Now, Diana has said that book readers have kind of taken the Ghost Jamie thing and made it more into what it actually is. So it'll be interesting to see with what the book ending is. But just, this was perfect. And he planted the forget-me-nots. And then I don't know if you missed it, but you know, when it zooms out on them, you could see her blue light magic going in him. So it just, yeah. I'm not disappointed with how this final episode is. And like I said, I think the ending of it just leaves it open for the opportunity to come back. Now, they could not. You know, they're tired. They have put in over a decade of work into this show. And so, you know, if they don't want to, that's fine. We will always have the book ending. But I really do think that they did kind of leave it open-ended here to come back. And that really makes me excited. And so with that, I actually am now looking more forward to Blood of My Blood Season 2. I wasn't really, just because it looked like the entire direction of this season was going to build to that in some Fanny time travel thing. But now that it hasn't, I can officially separate the two and really enjoy them as their own thing. And I did enjoy season 1 of Blood of My Blood. And we still have to figure out who Claire's brother is. So I will definitely be watching that. I will definitely be reacting and reviewing to it once the fall hits. So make sure you are still with me for when that happens. But yeah, I just want to thank you guys so much for being with me on this 10 episode journey. Final seasons are, you know, they're never the funnest to do. I mean, sometimes, you know, you're so excited going into a final season, but it's devastation. You're saying goodbye to something that you've loved for a really, really long time. And God, Sam and Kat just really, they are Claire and Jamie. And they have brought perfection to this show, and just, it's magic. It really is lightning in a bottle. And I'm just so glad that I discovered it. I'm so glad that it brought me back to reading and got me to where I am here today. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys again. You will have to let me know down below, what did you think of this final episode? What did you think of the final season as a whole? And what are your thoughts on the future? Do you think we're going to get more from this storyline, or do you think it ends here? Let me know. If you guys want more adaptation reactions, like I said, I will be back in the fall for Blood of My Blood. Next month for June, Olivia is going to be covering House of the Dragon. So if you are big Game of Thrones fans, please make sure you are still subscribed, because she is going to be covering all of that fun jazz. Make sure you are following the Tired Witches podcast on Bookstagram. We post all of our schedules and everything there. Turn on the bell for notifications. I might be back for maybe 1 or 2 more Outlander episodes here and there. I do have a really good friend, Rachel, who works behind the scenes on the podcast in the Discord, and she loves the show, and she's actually read all of the books versus me. And so I was kind of thinking about bringing her on here, getting her thoughts. I don't know. Just make sure you are subscribed so you can get all of that information. But anyways, until then, I will see you guys whenever.